John the Mouse.
Legends of the Union Pacific. At the top of this hill stands two of the largest locomotives ever built. The Big Boy steam locomotive and the Centennial diesel locomotive were brought here to honor one of the Union Pacific's greatest leaders, John C. Kenefick. Kenefick served as the railroad's senior officer from 1970 until 1986. During that time, he brought a new era to the Union Pacific, ushering in federal deregulation of the rail industry, computerization and modernization of the rail operations, and mergers that more than doubled the size of the Union Pacific. Kenefick set the railroad on a path to corporate citizenship that continues to benefit the city of Omaha and the thousands of communities Union Pacific serves. As you walk along the path, you come across these life-size steel rusty wheels. As you see, they are offset and rolling down the hill. Big Boy and Centennial, 230 feet of locomotive with a combined weight of nearly 2 million pounds, frame a spectacular overlook of the Missouri River Valley. The park serves as a tribute to the man whose leadership, integrity, and generosity moved the railroad into the 21st century and helped shape the vibrant city that Omaha is today. In 1862, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Pacific Railroad Act. The act created the Union Pacific Railroad and instructed the Union Pacific and Central Pacific to bind the nation east to west with a ribbon of steel. On May 10, 1869, the railroad was completed with the driving of the Golden Spike in Utah. Omaha secured its status as the region's largest city. The bridge was completed in 1872, and ever since, people and goods have headed out west or back east through Omaha. The bridge is still a key component of Union Pacific's transcontinental route. Crosses the river towards Omaha between Iowa's two riverside hotels. As I take you through the events on this wall, I will start from the newest and work to the oldest. Today, 1,000 dispatchers control train movements across 23 states in a converted freight house. James tested his ski lift prototype on Omaha's streets prior to sending the final design to Union Pacific's Sun Valley Resort in Idaho. Omaha team of mechanical engineers developed the Big Boy that was unmatched in size, power, and speed. In 1905, Union Pacific track workers created one of Omaha's most recognized geographic features, the elevated railroad that now parallels Interstate 80 between 32nd and 108th Street. In 1931, this was Omaha's Union Station. Omaha was the halfway point for most cross-country travelers, and hundreds of workers made sure those travelers remembered their stop at the third busiest rail center in the United States. Omaha shop workers created a self-contained gasoline-powered passenger rail car. Union Pacific helped bring the newest seeds, breeder stock, and educational programs to the local farmers. An advertisement in a paper that advertised cheap farms and free homes along the Union Pacific Railroad. The Big Boy. Locomotive 4023, built in November of 1944, was one of 25 famous Big Boy type locomotives. They were designed in Omaha by Union Pacific mechanical officer and his engineering team to support the nation's entry into World War II. Built for speed, the coal-burning, Stoker-fired Big Boys guaranteed the Union Pacific status as the nation's fastest railroad. They primarily hauled heavy eastbound freight trains between Utah and Wyoming over a 1.14% grade, referred to as 4884 for the locomotive's wheel configuration. The Big Boy was lauded in the industry and pressed as the most powerful, heaviest, and longest steam locomotive ever built. Despite a running weight of 1.25 million pounds, the Big Boy had a pulling power equal to 7,000 horsepower at its 70 miles per hour design speed. The American Locomotive Company in New York built the first 20 Big Boys in 1941. Locomotive 4023 was one of the 5 additional Big Boys built in 1944 under the government authority in preparation for the increased rail traffic due to the shift from the European to Pacific War operations. After the war, diesel locomotives eventually surpassed the Big Boys. In their final days, they ran between Cheyenne and Laramie over the Wyoming's famous Sherman Hill. The last run of 4023 was July 20th, 1959. 11 days later, it was put in storage in Cheyenne. Locomotive 4023 was officially retired in July 1962 after logging 829,295 miles. It has been displayed in Omaha since 1975. The Centennial. Locomotive 6900 was one of 47 DDA 40X locomotives built by the Electromotive Division of General Motors exclusively for the Union Pacific and accordingly to the Union Pacific specifications. These Centennial locomotives were built in 1969 when the Union Pacific was celebrating 100th anniversary of driving the Golden Spike to complete the nation's first transcontinental railroads. The 6,600 horsepower Centennials, designed when the tonnage of freight trains were increasing dramatically, were built to carry heavier loads further, faster, and with less maintenance. They are the world's largest single-unit diesel locomotives, requiring 4-axle trucks to distribute their weight within the track loading limits. Powered by 2 diesel engines, Centennials could reach 85 miles per hour on level track. Power was transmitted to the wheels through 8 electric traction motors, one for each set of wheels. The Centennials hauled freight throughout the Union Pacific system from 1969 until 1984. Locomotive 6900 was the first Centennial produced. It left Omaha on its first run in May 1969, bound for Utah, and was the celebration of the 100th anniversary of the Golden Spike. It was retired after logging nearly 2 million operating miles. The last operating Centennial locomotive, 6936, continues to operate as part of the Union Pacific's heritage fleet. Thank you for watching my video. I do have more for you to view. Just press on the button. And if you'd like to subscribe to stay up to date, you can push that button too.